Hello, and welcome back to Antiques Diary, and welcome to our first video episode. I've been toying around with this idea for a couple weeks now, of like, let's start filming them, you know what I mean? Not that I record super regularly, but I want to record more regularly, and I figure, I'm doing all this blabbing, I might as well film them. People want to watch them. I've had a lot of people say like, hey, I would really love your podcast if I could put it on my TV or whatever. And I experimented with those little, I was doing those little slideshows for a little bit, but that didn't really seem to go anywhere and they were annoying and whatever. So, even though for the last year I was like, I don't want to set up a camera. As it turns out, that actually took like 4.5 minutes. So really not that big of a deal. So yeah, here's our first video episode. Let me know what you think about this. Here's my little setup here, to give you a little tour, I guess. We've got, the hard hat. We've got this candle that my grandmother had for like a billion years, and I took. We have all of my stuffed animals that I sleep with every single night. Now this guy, him and I go way back. Same with, okay, I have another Webkins. I think he did fall behind my bed. But anyway, me and this guy go way back. I think I was meant to be a ginger, and I don't know how to really explain. I feel this strong ancestral connection to gingers. I don't know how to explain it. It's like every time I see a natural ginger, like a natural Irish-born ginger, lover of potatoes, etc., I look at them and I see a long-lost brother or a long-lost cousin or a twin separated at birth or something, which is really strange and makes no sense because I actually have 0% Irish in me at all. I had to take one of those ancestry things, which I would have never done. Because I'm not giving them that data. I would never let them hold that against me. But anyway, I did one of those ancestry things for a class because I had to. I don't know. It didn't end up being graded, so I definitely didn't have to. But I ended up being 45% British, which is really embarrassing. First of all, I was gagged. My mother was gagged. I was like, "Did you know we're 45% British?" And she goes, "Well, I don't know where that came from." Me neither. But yeah, I'm 45% British. I'm 0% Irish, and yet, like I said, when I see a ginger, I just feel this very strong ancestral bond. Like I don't even know how to explain it. I really don't. There's something there. There's really something there. And I think I was meant to be a ginger. I really do. I think a big reason for it might be because my first crush when I was 4 years old, was a ginger. She did have red hair. And I think previously I had thought, well, I guess I probably just picked her arbitrarily. Because when you're 4 years old, that's what you do is you just, pick someone. You're not really having a crush on anyone. You're 4 years old. But in hindsight, I'm wondering if it's because she was a ginger. And again, that ancestral bond. It's like I'm being pulled back to my people. Much like Iggy Azalea, the albino child who was left in a malanga leaf. I feel as though I was perhaps left outside the village, wrapped up in a potato skin, with a little green hat on at the end of the rainbow. And they were like, oh, we'll be right back. We'll be right back for him. But then they walked away and, maybe they were eaten by a cyclops or something. And they never came back. And now I don't have red hair. Which is... Today I had to fix my car battery because my car battery died. And it died beyond jumping. So don't say, oh, why didn't you jump your car? Why didn't you jump your car? Did you try jumping your car? I did. Obviously, I tried jumping my car. I've jumped my car many times. I've left the light on in my car many times. However, in high school, when that would happen, I drove pretty much every day. I drove to school every day. So, I would wake up, go to school. All right. The problem this time was I left the light on a Friday and I went to drive the following Tuesday. And it was like, well, it didn't even, nothing. It just went, and that was it. And so it was dead. And so I hooked it up to another car. I let it sit there for 5 minutes. Nothing. Let it sit there for 10 minutes. Again, nothing. Let it sit there for 15 minutes. Again, nothing. So I was like, okay, we're going to make our pilgrimage to AutoZone. right? It just was not that hard to fix that battery, which leaves me wondering, what are car mechanics doing? And not what are they doing? I don't want to be a car mechanic, right? I don't think it's that hard. I really don't. And here's my evidence for that. I think building a computer is one of those things that if you've never built a computer before, seems very daunting. And no, I've never built a computer from scratch, but my personal computer, oh my God, I wonder if they did that on purpose. But my personal computer is like, you know, it's Frankenstein at this point. Like I've replaced the graphics card, I replaced the RAM sticks, I replaced the power supply. It's completely new. That was a pain in the ass. And so people, I think, are daunted by the idea of building or fixing your computer because it seems very daunting. There's all these wires everywhere. It seems like you're going to get electrocuted. It seems like everything's very fragile. It's going to snap. You know, building computers is like building Legos. It's not hard at all. I mean, I've done it multiple times. I've done the whole, I rewired the power supply in my computer and it just was not that difficult. Which is why I believe fixing a car is probably not that difficult. It's probably about the same thing, more or less. I just don't know how to do it. Which makes me believe that the car mechanics, I really do think they've got this good racket going, you know, where they're like, oh, you gotta come to us. Oh, you gotta come to us. I don't think you really do. It's like, you know, it's like fixing your computer. You don't have to bring it to the guy. You can Google it and figure it out. And cars are probably the same way. And here's some evidence. I replaced this battery today. No issues at all. The only issue I had was the fact that we didn't buy the right wrench. And so we kind of had to do the classic banging in a nail with a rock kind of thing, except we were using the wrong size wrench and we just kind of had to move it like 1 millimeter at a time. Actually, I don't know if banging in a nail with a rock is like a, I don't know if that's a common experience. When I was a kid, my father would not let us touch his tools. They were off limits. They were off limits in the basement. You could not have the hammer. And so when me and my sister would do little houseworking projects, we had this rock that we would use as a hammer. I also had some screwdrivers that we would use, but we didn't have a hammer. You might think, why didn't you go to the store and buy a hammer? Well, we had the rock, of course. But also, like, I didn't grow up within walking distance of the store. So it's not like we could be like, oh, let's go grab a hammer. You know, when you're 12, it's like, well, okay, we could ride our bike 5 miles down this, like, 60-mile-an-hour main road to the store to get a hammer, waste the entire day. Or we could use this rock. And that's pretty much what we did with the wrench that didn't actually fit. We just get, and you know what, it worked. And I turned my car on, nothing exploded. I changed the clock because it like resets. And that was it. And it was fine. It was a grand old time. The guy, or the guy at the hardware store was honestly super helpful. I walk in and I said, I was ready to go in and be like, hello, I need a wrench. Instead, I went in and immediately cracked and went, I'm like looking for like a wrench to like, well, we're trying to fix this battery and it's like as small as my finger. Like, do you have something that would fit that? And he went, but he actually didn't. He actually did not go, which is crazy. He was super nice, super kind, and super helpful. And I really, really did appreciate that. And the woman who helped me at AutoZone, also really helpful. Craziness. I don't know. I think because earlier in the week, I had a run-in with USPS. If you know, you know. That feels like a stand-up set being done by a 40-year-old man. You know what I mean? USPS, am I right? Anyone else that think the DMV is kind of slow? Pause for laughter. But honestly, the USPS, they have the worst customer service ever. They really do. And I don't know why. I really don't know why. Because, you want to know why? Because I went to UPS 5 minutes earlier to pick up a package. The nicest man I've spoken to in my entire life. I would trust him with the password to my savings account. I would use his pockets as a safe. That's like not afraid. I don't know. But he was chill. He was great. I don't know. We were having a blast. I was like, can I have my package? And he said, of course. And he brought me my package. Like, and that was it. You go to USPS and you don't have the right zip code for this location. Okay. It's all the same mail. It's all the same mail. Like, I don't know, whatever. But Yeah, I did not get that sorted out, but that's why I was going into this AutoZone experience expecting the worst. You know what I mean? Because I had been dealing with USPS, who is the worst. But it was pretty chill. Like, they were nice. You know what's really weird, too, is I think there would be some Republican lesson in there about, well, that's the problem with communism. These government-run jobs is they're terrible, and when you have a private business, you can vet your employees, and there's no union, and blah, 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 blah. I don't believe that's true. I don't believe that's true because I work at a Chipotle, and the fact that I work at a private business is not making me any better at customer service, and that's not true of any of my coworkers. So I don't know why that would be true for literally anyone else on the planet. I don't know why the USPS workers are the worst. I genuinely don't. Speaking of Chipotle, if you didn't know, I work at Chipotle. Surprise, I work at Chipotle. I think I've mentioned this before. Anyway, and I work at a Chipotle on a big college campus, which is not fun. I mean, the average Chipotle, I don't know if I'm supposed to disclose these numbers, but I've never been told them concretely, so I think I can share them. The average Chipotle brings in $9,000 to $10,000 a day. We bring in about $18,000 a day, dollars, and so we are really, really, really busy. And, you know, sometimes people will come in and they'll say, I don't know how you do it. And I'll say, I don't know. The thing is, I really don't. I cry in the walk-in cooler a lot. I've got to be honest. And I'm not a crier. I'm really not a crier like that. But I do cry in that walk-in cooler a lot. And I've had, obviously, I have some super fun, super silly customer stories. Blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the customer. I'm always right. Blah, 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 blah. This is, like, not untread ground, but something I do want to talk about that's really funny. So I went into work, right, like 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, and I go up to the guy at the counter and I say, can you put my discount on it? The discount being 100%, by the way. I say, can you put my discount on it? And he's like, Now, in fairness, I've never seen him before in my life, but I was just talking to the other employee at the counter who knew me, and we were kikiing, and he was like, oh my god, hi, and everyone there knew me, and so I'm like, obviously I work here. Maybe he wasn't paying attention, whatever. I don't fault him. When you're in coworker mode, things happen. The other day, literally, my Lana came in, and I literally stared at her and went, hi, what can I get for you? Oh, wait, hi. Like, I just, like, I was in such a bad mood. It took me a very alarmingly long time to realize it was Lana standing in front of me. And so I don't fault this man for being like, you know what I mean? When he sees someone, he has no clue who he is, and he's asking for a discount, right? But, I say, yes, I work here. You know, put my little thing on it. And this man turns to the person standing next to him and says, does this guy really work here? First of all, yes, I do. But I'm not mad about that. I don't really care. You do weird things under pressure. That's not the point of this story. Although my coworker was like, girl, yeah, I was just talking to him. Hello. What's the point of this story is, I asked one of my coworkers the next time I was in, I said, who is that man? Because I've never seen him in my life. And they were like, oh, he's name here. He used to work here and he came back. And I said, oh, okay. All I remembered about this guy was he's about yay high, white dude. That's it. That's all I got. I couldn't tell you what he looked like, right? I really just didn't remember. It really wasn't that important. I'm also generally kind of like not great at remembering people's faces. Sorry if you've been impacted by that. I promise I don't mean it. Like, I love meeting new people. I really do. I'm a very social creature. I do just forget. But anyway, so the one time I'm working with this about yay high white guy, and I go up to him and I say, are you name here? And he goes, oh no, I'm name. What's important to note is that these two names rhymed, the one I said and the one he said. But I didn't pick up on that immediately. I just went, that's so crazy, because this one time this one guy was working here. I've never seen him in my life, and he blank, blank, blank. I tell the story here. And this man just got really weird and was like, oh, okay. 10 minutes later, I'm like, I wonder if my coworker told me the wrong name and this is totally that dude. Because again, the names rhymed. He seemed really weird after that. And has always been a little weird to me since then. So I think I inadvertently looked someone in the eyes and said, you were really weird to me one time. But like, in this weird backhanded way where I talked about someone else. I don't even know. I don't even know. And then another layer to this story happened last week where another guy comes in with the original name that I had that rhymed with that name. And I looked at him and I go, now these are both two white dudes that are about yay high with rhyming names. Maybe it was that guy. Which is, that's crazy. That's really crazy. And I do feel bad. I'm sure they're nice men. If you held a gun to my head and put these two men in front of me and said, which one did you have the awkward interaction with? Tell my mother I love her. I really couldn't do. I could not even remotely tell you which one it was. I really just have no idea. I do feel a little bit bad about it. It did feel very sitcom-y up until the last aspect of the story. It still all does feel very Seinfeld. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, my life is just humorous like that. But, yeah, I have no idea who those men are, and I don't know which one I had the weird interaction with. Couldn't fucking tell you. I have no idea. And we'll probably never know if I'm being super honest. Sorry, I'm just gonna look at my notes. Do you guys like my laptop? Let's give you a little tour of my stickers here. We've got Shop Tunnel Vision. We've got this Luma. We have a Monster logo. I do love a Monster. We have the Heartstopper shoes. To the naked eye, they may just seem like sneakers, but they're much more than that. We have Antique. I'm buying new stickers, or new stickers are coming in the mail, by the way, and they're really cool. So I'm super excited. I am probably going to charge people for them. I'm not going to lie, because they were kind of expensive to make because they're ovals, but I promise they're going to be worth it. They're going to be like, I don't know, $3 or $4 or something. Anyway, and then we have Quinn over here from Daria. So, and then I have the Chevy truck sticker in here. I don't even know if you could see that. I don't know if you could see that on camera. Rina Sawayama and Chappell Roan are kind of the same person. I don't mean they're not at all the same person. They kind of fit the same slot in the LGBT music thing, especially because Rina Sawayama is not that relevant right now. Love her to I love Rina Sawayama. If you know me, you know I love Rina Sawayama. She hasn't released an album in 2 years, and the last one was divisive. I've come around in a lot. I've been holding the girl a lot recently. I won't lie. I'm starting to, as I'm getting a little bit older, although it's only been 2 years, I kind of understand why she was holding the girl. I really do. And I feel bad because at the time I was kind of like, okay, cornball. I really do feel bad about that. I really do. The other day I said Montreal, as in like Montreal, but M-U-N-C-H. I don't have anything else to say about that. A lot of these notes were from, we had a class discussion the other day that I was just mining for content with my pickaxe. Randomly really hot guy in class raises his hand and goes, yeah, so my parents are both French. That makes so much sense. And I don't even like the French like that. This guy is just like hot in a way that is so un-American. And again, I don't really fuck with the French like that. But when you say, oh, my parents are both French, it's like, right. Hottest guy I've seen in my entire life, except for yesterday. Everyone right now smells like Billie Eilish perfume #1, specifically #1. I have never smelled anyone else wearing #2, which is good because that's my signature scent that I wear every single day. So I wouldn't want anyone else to smell like Eilish #2. Everyone now smells like Eilish #1, which is crazy because I wore Irish #1, Billie Eilish #1 2 years ago when it came out. In the spring when they came out with the travel size that I could afford. I was wearing that freshman year of college. Not that, I don't mean to say freshman year of college was like traumatic. Oh, that's my trauma. But, you know, I don't really want to be reminded of freshman year of college on a daily basis. And smells are one of those things that are so transporting. You know, you smell something and you immediately are 4 years old with your mom again or whatever. In this case, a freshman in college again. All the time. Because everyone is wearing fucking Eilish #1. And it's kind of starting to drive me crazy, I'm not going to lie. And I don't know why, because I don't think Eilish #1 smells that good. I think it's good. I think Eilish #2 is so much better, obviously. But I do have like, and I just want to say I know it's Eilish #1. First of all, because I know it's Eilish #1. But also every time I smell it, if it's in, you know, a socially acceptable situation to be like, what are you wearing? I've always been like, are you wearing the Billie Eilish perfume? And look at us. Oh my God. Because I want to confirm that it's Billie Eilish #1 because I want to make sure, you know, that I'm right, which I always am. And it's just been freaking me out. It's everywhere. I walk past a girl on the street and I go, there it is again. The dorm room. The 19-year-old I was in love with. Thinking I wanted to be a computer science major. Me and Lana's podcast. Vodka with a Mio squeeze. Eating at a dining hall. My psychology professor who was terrible and never showed up to class. Sitting in a lounge. I don't know, I ran out of things to say. Using a mini fridge. My roommate's ugly poster. The shower that ruined my hair. Getting my wisdom teeth out. Anyway, it's really starting to freak me out and I really don't like it. Wearing the ugliest sunglasses known to man. Getting drugged. Debatably. That's a story for perhaps a different time. When I turned 30, I am going to become a history teacher if I haven't figured anything else out yet. We know this. I said this to my coworker the other day who's like an education major, and she was like, have you ever even had any like experiences like with kids, like working with kids? Like, you know, like you would have to teach kids. You're not just teaching thin air. And it's like, I mean, don't break the facade. Like, come on. Duh. Obviously not. Obviously, I didn't think that through. That's for me to figure out when I'm 40. Also, I was a camp counselor freshman year of high school. So I've had plenty of experiences working with children, actually. And you know what? It was a blast, and they loved me. They really did. They really did. I do kind of uniquely think middle schoolers are kind of funny, which is because, you know, the only time I worked with them was for that 1 year at that camp, and it wasn't like a sleepaway camp. It was like a during the day, and so I sent them home every night, and it was for 5 nights, and I knew at the end it was like goodbye. But I really do think middle schoolers are kind of funny. The other day I went to this to write an article for this thing. Like, we had like middle schoolers on campus. They were doing some like they were making like a tower out of like noodles and marshmallows or whatever. And one of them, two of the teams were, you know, bickering, and they were being a little bit argumentative with each other, and they were like, your tower sucks, blah blah blah. And this kid goes, bro, he's excited over a tower of noodles, like in that exact tone. He's excited over a tower of noodles. It was so funny. And you're not supposed to laugh as the adult. You're supposed to be like, stop the bullying, stop the fighting. But they're so funny. You know what I mean? Which is why I wouldn't be a good teacher, by the way. I would be a good overseer. You know what I mean? I would sit there and giggle. But when push came to shove and it was time to like teach them about the Civil War or whatever, it's like boring. It's like boring. You know what I mean? Although I do think it would be fun. I mean, everyone thinks this. I do think it would be fun to instill my political beliefs on the youth. I hope they clip that on Fox News. My last point for today, and this again came from that class discussion that I was involved with. Against my will, I was involved in a class discussion. Y'all don't know what the word scam means. You have no idea what the word scam means. And this is, I believe, more of an in-person phenomenon. So I don't know if this is a Temple thing. This might be a cultural thing that I'm out of the loop on. But I don't think I've heard this online Maybe I have. Maybe I did more. Maybe I have seen it online. Or maybe it's online in spaces of, like, morons. You guys don't know what the word scam means. This guy in my class, we're talking about... I don't even remember what we're talking... I don't remember how the conversation started. The discussion. I don't remember how it started. I don't remember what we were supposed to be talking about. This man goes... Well, first of all, he goes... When the young generation gets older and gets in power, we're gonna change things. Oh, I'm sure. Oh, I'm sure. It's like, that's just one of those things you say when you're 17. Like, you don't think that. You don't really think that, right? Right? I mean, not that I don't want political change to happen, because obviously I do. But you are so naive if you think Gen Z is the first all-liberal generation. Like, come on. Come on. Look around. Go on the internet. Escape your little algorithm bubble for 10 seconds. Or just imagine what it would be like to escape the algorithm bubble. People love to be like, from like a 99% blue county and be like, Gen Z is so liberal. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You know what I mean? Anyway, he says that, which is crazy. But then he was like, the bookstore is a scam. And you know how I know that is because you go in the bookstore and they've got these t-shirts available and they're $50, but then when you go online, they're only $35. That's a scam. Baby, that's not a scam. That's a retail store. That's called profit, which is a scam. But I don't think that's what he meant. I don't think that's what he meant. I don't think he meant it from the angle of CEOs making money is unethical. I don't think that's the angle he was coming from. Baby, that's not a scam. That's just the bottom line. Like, you are college educated. Well, not, you're being college educated. You're being college educated. And this class is a joke. This class is a joke. It's like a international law class where we don't learn anything at all. The professor gave up on lecturing after like 3 or 4 weeks and decided to assign us these like ungraded Jeopardy PowerPoints that each group has to submit for each chapter. And then during class, the groups just go up and present their questions, interspersed with her being like, isn't this such a great way to learn? And we all just kind of go, yeah. Just the stupidest class I've ever been. The other day we come in and she's like, y'all, I think she might have been hungover. I don't really know. I don't know. But we come in and she's like, okay, guys, I'm going to give you extra credit if you just work on these problems from the book. It's like, you didn't feel like teaching today. And I wouldn't care about this at all because I would just never show up if she didn't have mandatory attendance. How are you going to have mandatory attendance and not do anything? And now, I do have a sneaking suspicion that she didn't write the syllabus and there's not actually mandatory attendance. But I'm not willing to make that gamble. I'm really not. Although I do hate waking up at 9 in the morning to sit there and watch Crash Course and do extra credit in a class I have a 99 in. But again, not willing to make that gamble. Because I'm not graduating late. If that's one thing about me, it's I'm not graduating late. I'll graduate with no degree before I graduate late. And 140 credits of nothing. My final story for today also, whoever stole my Ethernet cable, first of all, count your days, because I will find you. Whoever stole the bag of soda can tabs that I purchased to make little bracelets for my friends, literally kill yourself. Literally kill yourself. I'm not joking. Kill yourself. What are you going to do with that? And it's like, I know that that is giving bookstores a scam. What are you even going to do with that? Well, they didn't look, obviously. No thief is going up to the package to be like, oh, let me open this and make sure it's something good before. No, they grabbed it and ran off, obviously. So I know but I will say I do find it mildly entertaining. Only mildly, because mostly I'm annoyed. But I do find it a little bit funny that they opened the package and it was literally a bag of garbage because I was going to make little bracelets with it for my friends. Also, fuck eBay for not giving me a refund for my package that was stolen. I mean, I hate Amazon, and I hate that the reason they're able to offer refunds by default is because... Did I already talk about that? I totally already talked about this on the podcast. Didn't I talk about this last week on the podcast? Hang on. I definitely talked about this last week on the podcast. One final note. Straight men are going to do to Leve what they do to Clairo Pretty Girl in 6 to 9 months. So watch for that, because that's going to happen. Also, don't ever say I don't have gay solidarity, because the other day, this gay couple came into work. Oh my god, they smelled. The worst BO I've smelled in my entire life. And I still didn't charge them for double chicken. Because if you come in and you're visibly gay, I'll find a way to give you a discount. I might not be able to press a button on the register, but I'll find a way to give you a little discount. Even if you fucking stink. And that's all I have to say on this week's episode of Antiques Diary. Hopefully, we will be doing consistent episodes. And I want to try filming them every time. So let me know what you thought about this little setup. Big things coming soon. Music coming very soon. The release date did get pushed back, infamously. Fork found in kitchen, water found flowing from sink, whatever. It'll be out when it's out, very soon, sometime in April, I hope. So, thank you so much for watching. Oh, that's cool. I was gonna say listening, but I guess watching. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like. Be sure to like and subscribe and follow me on Spotify and follow me on Instagram, because that's where I post about like everything. So goodbye.